Good afternoon. Welcome, Steve Scherer with Juice Plus. I'm Paul Richard, and this is the Leveraged Podcast. And we're so excited to have you on with us today, Steve. And we've met each other, I guess it's a little over a year, a little under a year. In the networking world, seems like about a year. It seems like it's been longer, honestly. And we become, I think, good friends through the process of understanding. So, good. We'd love to start out a little bit about your background in, business and what your world is. Love to get to know you a little bit better. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, for sure. Well, I'm a St. Louis kid. I grew up in North St. Louis County, and when I graduated in 1971, which is probably a long time before a lot of people, but it is what it is. And I went to what is now Missouri State University, and at the time was Southwest Missouri State Teachers College. And
Hmm.
I got out of there in '75 and went into the agrochemical business for about 10 years. And then through a series of events outside of my control, companies were being purchased and things were being merged, and I still had a job, but the circumstances didn't, it just didn't look good. And I knew it was time for a career change. And I had just recently gotten married to my spouse of 42 years, Mary. And she was working as an RN. We had no children, so we were, what do they call us? Dinks, dual income, no children,
Thanks.
no kids.
That's
Yeah,
what they called them. Yep.
a couple of dinks, and it was the right time to make a change. And I just happened to have a couple guys that I had gone to school with were working for this insurance company out of Owatonna, Minnesota, and they suggested I give that a shot. So I did, and it turned out to be a very good decision for me. I kind of fell in love with the insurance business, to be honest with you, as much as you can with any job. I always like to remind people that golf is fun, hunting is fun, fishing is fun, work is work. It's enjoyable. It can be rewarding and challenging and all that, but it's not fun. So anyway, well, now that we've gotten that out of the way, but I did really take to the insurance business like a duck takes to water, so to speak. And I spent 37 years doing that. And then, somewhat similar to the circumstances that I encountered in the agrochemical business, um, there's a big push in the insurance business for consolidation and mergers, and the big are getting big and the little independent agents are kind of getting pushed out. And so that was happening. And while I was not in, I had a fairly solid book of business that I was managing, and so I was secure in where I was. But the direction that the new management wanted to go, well, it was not. It's not where I wanted to be. And I told them quite honestly when this all came about that I was actually had one foot out the door. It was time to go, and so they were very good about keeping me on. And in this, so I guess it was. Let me think about this. The summer of 21, the series of events again. I had an older brother that passed away, not unexpectedly, but it happened sooner than we would have liked. And I had a very close friend pass away very, very suddenly. It was very shocking. And so my wife and I
Hmm.
decided that it was time to, um, I always put it, we needed to start eating off the good china. It's time for that. And so we sold the house in St. Charles where we'd lived for the last 30 years, 35 years, whatever, and moved to Branson. And so I continued to commute to St. Louis periodically for a year. They kept me on as a consultant. And then in September of 24, a year ago, a little over a year ago, I cut the cord completely. And at that juncture, I was unemployed. I hadn't been. Don't. I don't think I was unemployed since I was 15 years old. Uh, so it was kind of a liberating feeling. But one thing led to another. My wife, Mary, got involved in the Juice Plus business in 2001. And
Hmm.
she had after the birth of our third child, she had a rather serious health scare. Looked like maybe it was ovarian cancer. Turned out it
Mm.
was not cancerous, but there were tumors that had to come out. And so she immediately, at the age of 40 years old, became a hormonal wreck and could no longer work in the OR as a nurse. And so, because she was plagued with foggy thinking and a lot of things that I think women experience with hormone disruption. And so but being a scrubbed-in nurse on a neuro team where you're doing brain surgery, the doctor doesn't ask you. You need to know what comes next, and she just couldn't do it. She wasn't safe.
Mm.
So she got out of that and actually wound up working for uh, this a chiropractor friend of ours in his office as a wellness coordinator, where they were dispensing vitamins and other various supplements to people. And so she was consuming. One of the perks of having that job was that she got everything half off. So, but nevertheless, we were still pumping out maybe $200 to $300 a month in supplements with no measurable effect on her health. And then, as I said, in 2001, a gal walked into the office and said, "Hey, have you ever heard of a product called Juice Plus?" And she's like, "What's that?" And the gal said, "Well, it's fruits and vegetables in a capsule, and I'd like to come back and talk to you and the doctor about it." And so my wife was very not interested. She goes, "I'm not taking another pill. I'm not doing it." And so the doctor said, "Mary, come on, we got to hear about this. It sounds too good to be true." So the gal came in and put on, showed a 15-minute video, and my wife, I remember, she was madder than wet hen because in the medical field, when the drug reps come in and put on a dog and pony show for the doctors, they always bring lunch. Well, this gal didn't bring lunch, so Mary was a little peeved about that. But anyway, she watched the video, and it was like a light bulb went off, and she understood the concept. To health is not fragmented, isolated synthetic vitamins that are megadosed. It's whole food nutrition. It's what's in an apple. It's what's in an orange. It's what's in a you name it, a head of broccoli, tomato, that sort of thing. And so she became convicted and signed up, became a customer and signed up as a distributor all in one day. And came home and said, well, announced that we were all getting on this particular product. And of course, I was quite skeptical, to be honest with you. But we have three sons that were very active in elite sports. They were all ice hockey players. And so they were really burning the candle at both ends. They were all high school. One was still in middle school, two were in high school. So we were quite busy, and if you got kids in sports, you probably know that the flu or strep throat can rip through a locker room like nobody's business. It's not very sanitary. These kids are all hacking on each other in close quarters, and so somebody was always sick. Well, along came the Juice Plus. The kids started taking it, and the sickness went away. I mean, it just didn't happen anymore. Of course, I was. And of course, my wife had, after about 4 months, the foggy thinking went away. The hormonal problems seemed to balance, and so she was able to go back to work in the operating room. It was remarkable. So she became very convicted and rose. I guess it took her about 4 years, and rose to the top level of the company. Juice Plus is a direct sales network marketing type of business model, which I love because it's very, you've heard horror stories, I think probably from a lot of people who have been in some network marketing company. This one was different. It was totally unlike anything I had ever been exposed to. And what I love about it is that you, like the insurance business, she built a book of business, a network of distributors and customers that she controls and gets paid on on a regular basis, as long as the people are happy and they reorder, she continues to get paid. So it's much like the insurance business. You write a piece of business and you get paid every time it renews. So that concept of residual income is really, it really attracted me to the business side, and so she did really well. And then I kind of worked alongside of her in a very limited capacity while I was still in the insurance business. And then when I retired in last year, I decided it was a good time to become more actively engaged in that and really help her continue to build that. We decided we moved into the Branson area, didn't know a single person down here, and so we tried to build a new line of business in this town, and I've actually really enjoyed doing that. And so, which Paul, as you know, that's how I met you at a network marketing event,
Mm-hmm.
and that's how we 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 get paid to talk in our business. We get paid to talk to people. That's it. I don't distribute. I don't deliver product. I don't collect money. The company does all that stuff. All I do is talk to people, and if they say yes, I get a check at the end of the month, and I love that. So that's kind of what probably a little more than you wanted to know, but that's that's how I got here in a nutshell.
No, that's great. And so, just so I have my timelines correct,
Yes.
she got into it in '01, right?
Oh, one. That's correct.
Initially, then started seeing results in her health and that, and then so you were, like you said, you were skeptical in the beginning, and
hmm
then but based on the changes in your family, that kind of
hmm
convinced you. Is that what I'm hearing?
Yes, and other people that you met. So I was the company has a I believe is it semi-annual, twice a year. They would have a major national conference, which we would attend. And so you get, you're in a room with 5,000 other people, and you start talking, and you hear some absolutely phenomenal stories, anecdotal stories about people's health journey once they got off of vitamins and got onto whole food nutrition. And so that was real compelling. But what I think uh, probably more than anything got me as a believer was, unlike a lot of uh, nutraceutical people, companies in the nutraceutical business that have some type of consumable product, the Juice Plus company, at the behest of some doctors that were involved, said, "You guys got to get some research." So they commissioned several research studies just to see what this product would do. And to date now, the Juice Plus came on the scene, I think, in '93. And so we're, what is it, 32 years now, 33 years,
Mm-hmm.
32, I believe.
Yep. Yep.
There are now 48 peer reviewed gold standard research pieces of research that are done at major medical schools and universities, that are clinical. They're they're done, our product, on human beings, not lab rats. It's not borrowed science. A lot of companies will say, well, there's research on vitamin C, and we have vitamin C in our product. Well, that's what we refer to as borrowed research. When you actually, as a purveyor of a nutraceutical product, hand your product over a medical school, and they set up a placebo group and a control group, and they do a double blind crossover. When they do that, then you have research, and that's the type of research that the Juice Plus company has done, and as a result of that, it's made it into peer-reviewed medical journals like the Journal of American College of Cardiology, the Journal of American Sports Medicine, and several others that are rather noteworthy. So as a skeptic by nature,
Yeah.
when I saw that, I was like, okay, that's really cool. And then I saw what my wife was doing on the business side, and I saw the parallels with the insurance business. I liked the idea of residual income, and building a stable and lasting business that just continues to reward you for talking to people and taking care of them. So it's been a remarkable switch, I guess, from being an insurance peddler, as I used to call myself, to being a fruit and vegetable peddler, and that's what I am now.
That's great. Yeah,
Yeah.
we love hearing your presentation, and it's an excellent thing. And I'm
Hmm.
very much pro whole food as well. And
Good.
but I was wondering too, in regards to, since you've been with the company 24 years or whatever it works out to be,
Hmm.
what products have you seen them develop, and what, like when you guys started, do you remember kind of what the product line was and what it is
Oh
now?
yeah,
Can you kind of
yeah.
walk us through
Hmm.
that real quick?
Sure, sure, yeah. So when we came on the scene in the Juice Plus company, well, it's rather interesting, and I'll kind of tell you the background story how the product came into existence. There was a naturopath, I believe he was in Scottsdale, Arizona, by the name of he's an Umberto Santilla. He was a naturopath, and his father was dying of cancer, and they had given him 6 months to live. And so this doctor, naturopath, very forward thinking, and he concocted a fruit and vegetable powder blend that he gave his father, and in lieu of uh, whatever health protocol they had him on, and he lived another 5 years. So he was really interested in. He didn't quite know what to do with this particular product, and so he was on an airplane going somewhere, and a lady sitting next to him was the fiance of the number one representative in the Juice Plus company at the time. Actually, back then it was called National Safety Associates, and the company was selling air and water purification systems and
Hmm.
fire detectors. So they were looking for a consumable product, and so he mentioned the lady in the course of conversation. He told her what he did and what he was trying to do, and she went and mentioned it to her fiance and said, "Hey, I met this guy in the plane, and he's got this green stuff in a baggie. He swears is, you know, the real thing." So they uh, they arranged so a chance encounter like that. It's almost a prophetic, I guess, or for lack of a better term. But anyway, he arranged to meet with the board of directors of the Juice Plus or National Safety Associates at the time in Memphis, Tennessee. And they took this stuff out of a teaspoon of it out of the green bag, and they stirred it up in a glass of water. And the chief executive officer and founder took a drink, and he goes, "This tastes horrible." So, in a green mustache. And so the director of research goes, "Well, I guess we could put it in a capsule." And so that's how Juice Plus was born. So,
Hmm.
and so in 1993, they debuted Juice Plus, and it was the orchard and garden blend. So the orchard being the fruits, it was red in color. And again, it consisted, and please don't make me name them, but it was about 8 or 9 different types of fruit. And the garden blend was similarly about 8 or 9 different types of vegetables, mostly cruciferous, like broccoli and things like that, cabbage. Tomatoes were in there. And quite honestly, probably a preponderance of the research of the 48 studies that were done, I bet you at least 20 of them were done just on the red and green alone. Okay.
Hmm.
So that went very well. We continue to get additional research done in areas of immune system. Uh, we have the one. I guess it was. I'm trying to think when it was. Maybe about 2015, maybe 2012, somewhere in that range. They came out with a third blend. Was called a vineyard blend, and so it was things like grapes, Concord grapes, and raspberries, and blackberries, and gooseberries, and black currant,
Hmm.
and some kind of berries you'd never heard of. So that particular blend joined the product line, and the company's always maintained a very narrow product focus. They didn't want to be a catalog company with 100 different products, a different product for each particular potential malady or symptom that somebody might have. They didn't believe that was the way to go. So they've kept the product focus narrow. So the vineyard came along, and that to me was the most exciting because they gave the three blends to the University of Maryland, who did a blood flow study, which ultimately made its way into the Journal of American College of Cardiology. You don't get into that, unless your product really works. And it
Hmm.
absolutely demonstrated that the product not only smooth, but made more elastic blood vessels and dilated them so that blood flow is increased. So this is huge for people with vascular and heart problems. But anyway, so that happened. Then we've also had on we call that the micronutrition side. The macronutrition would be our complete meal replacement shakes. We have a vanilla and a chocolate shake. And then a few years ago, they came out with one in tart cherry that was for athletes. It's quite a bit higher in protein content. And wasn't probably in the last 5 years, we came out with a omega-3 blend. It's not omega-3, it's an omega blend. It's actually 3, 5, 7, and 9. And the interesting thing about this omega product is it's totally 100% vegan. There is no fish oil in it. Everything is done from cold-pressed seed oils. And I could, again, please don't ask me to tell you what they are. But
Okay.
I tell people, I said, here's what I want you to do. You bite into your fish oil capsule and tell me what you think it tastes like, and then bite into this omega. You obviously know what the fish oil is horrible, but our omegas have a very citrusy taste to them because a lot of it is from the rind of the citrus fruit. So pretty cool stuff and very effective. Again, a lot of research showing that what the product does. And so moving forward, I want to say 3 years ago, based on some marketing research the company did, we brought out a product called Luminate. It is oh gosh, what would you call it? It's hard to, a product that is involved with mental clarity.
Hmm.
Um, the There's a huge market for quote unquote energy drinks. You see them, you go to a grocery store and the refrigerated cases are full of these things. And they're absolutely horrible for you because they contain all kinds of things that are really rough on your heart and so forth. So the Juice Plus company wanted to come out with something that would have the desired effect, but would be natural and healthy. And so they created Luminate, which is has ashwagandha and lion's mane and cordyceps and different kinds of things in it that are, again, 100% vegan. But the other thing, there is a slight amount of caffeine. They don't use the coffee bean; they use the entire coffee berry, husk and all,
Hmm.
and so it has about the same amount of caffeine content as a cup of black coffee, but that's it. There's nothing added to it. But I'll tell you, this I love this stuff because if I have a day where I need to be on my game, I drink that hot in the morning like tea, and it's like somebody flipped the light switch on. I mean, it's just your
Hmm.
ability to focus and get more things done is remarkable. So that brings us up to the latest product entered in the last product that was introduced in the last 6 months, which is our Super Biome product, and that is the uh, actually it's the companion product to our Juice Plus capsules that really ties everything together. What happens? It's a gut health product. Uh, what we your what happens? The environment in your gut is often referred to as the microbiome. There are a lot of little beneficial microbes in your gut that do all kinds of things that produce all kinds of enzymes and other chemicals and phytonutrients and whatnot that affect major organ systems in your body to the extent scientists are now calling your gut your second brain because it really does a lot of
Hmm.
that many things. So, and it's a huge market, so we wanted to tap into that. We felt it was a good fit, and so they had a couple of scientists. Um, I can't recall their names, to be honest with you, but they previewed the product at our last conference. And there are currently 2 research studies underway at Skidmore College and the University of Utah. Both those schools are leaders in the area of gut health. And so these guys engineered this particular product, and it's a two-part system. There are 20 billion colony forming units, I believe, CFUs, in a capsule, and then there is a powdered drink mix that goes along with it. Now, the reason you have a powdered drink mix, and it's a good source of about 6 different kinds of fiber that the microbiota feed on. So you are fertilizing them with that. The capsule itself is very resistant to an acid environment. There's a lot of probiotics currently available that are you can take in a drink form or in a capsule, but they open up in your stomach in an acid environment, and about 90% of the colony forming units never make it into the gut. So our capsule is designed to survive that passage through the stomach and make it into the colon, where it disperses the colony forming units. And the drink that goes along with it, which is about a blend of about 6 different types of fiber, specifically formulated to work with the 9 strains of microbes in the capsule. So it creates the perfect environment for improving your gut health. And so right now we don't have any, it's so new I can't even give you any anecdotal stories. All I can tell you is that, if regularity is an issue for you, I have a solution. This stuff works pretty good. So that's that,
awesome.
and that in itself is kind of an indicator that something positive is happening in your gut. So that's kind of the product lineup, Paul. It's like I said, we try to keep it simple and back it up with a lot of solid research. Yeah.
So one of the things that crossed my mind, obviously we're in the Leverage podcast here, and
Yes.
some of the things, as I've watched you and Mary operate from a marketing standpoint, and that, there's several ways to gain, footing with other people and start to get some, so your marketing out there. And you guys seem to do a really good job at that. And so I wanted to ask you a couple questions about the marketing side of things. So first of all, I was wondering what, like you can do self-improvement or training. What kind of training does Juice Plus give you? And how, you said you worked for an agrochemical company. Is that what I thought you heard? I heard you say, was that Monsanto by chance?
Oh, no. We were
okay.
We distributed some Monsanto product. We also had certain, we actually formulated some of our own stuff.
Okay.
But no, we're not Monsanto.
Okay, so you did have some chemical background, or at least some exposure to
absolutely.
it. So what does Juice Plus do in the training realm for you as a distributor in that? How do they do that, and what things have you taken advantage of in that realm?
So on the product side, they're constantly, we have, of course we have, I just had one today. I don't know if you're familiar, you may be familiar with a doctor by the name of Dr. William or Bill Sears. They call him America's pediatrician. He's written over 40 books. Okay. Yeah. He's a major spokesman for us, and he put on about an hour presentation on gut health. And that was today. So we have a lot of physicians and other healthcare professionals that, so we're constantly getting bombarded with information on the product and what it does in the human body from not only healthcare professionals that are involved in our business, but also we've got people in our research department. So when we go to our annual conferences, they'll present certain papers, they'll give us a synopsis of the recently published research and that sort of thing. So there's a lot of information out there. On the business side, a lot of this information is curated in an application called Boards. I don't know if you're familiar with it, but
I've heard of it.
It's a place where you can post videos and just about everything on. And so if you said to me, well, Steve, I need to know, I'm on a blood thinner. What will Juice Plus do to my? Do I need to be careful with a blood thinner? I can get you an answer on that. And with this, so all this information is curated out in the in cyberspace on this Boards app and other places. The Juice Plus company has a similar site that is called the Hub, where we catalog a lot of this information, and so it keeps us. We got to be very careful. Some of
Mm-hmm.
my erstwhile competitors have had their hands slapped rather severely by the FDA because they're out there making um,
Claims.
curative claims. My product cures
Mm-hmm.
this. And you have to be very careful. We don't do that. What we say is that there's no medical condition that isn't improved by the ingestion of fruits and vegetables. And we urge people to eat as many raw fruits and vegetables as they can get. But the reality is that most people can't, won't, or don't because of cost, inconvenience, or what have you. So we always say one of our taglines is we're the next best thing to raw fruits and vegetables. So we're constantly being reminded of that by the legal eagles at the corporate office that we don't want to get uh, into a confrontation with the FDA over claims. So you have to be very careful with that. And similarly, on the business side, again, a lot of my erstwhile competitors will tell you, oh, with very little effort, you're going to make thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars a month. They'll make income claims that really aren't substantiated. And then along comes it's not the Trade Commission, it's a federal agency, and they get slapped pretty hard for making, so we have to be very careful on when we're talking to prospective somebody that's interested in doing what I do. I have to be very upfront and honest with them about the expectations of what they're going to make. And so, and in terms of leveraging our business and how we do that, that's the whole nature of network marketing. Is your leverage is the people that you talk to, and they're like, yeah, I like that. Well, hey, I know this guy, and he might need what you got, and it just builds on that. So it's all of it's word of mouth. The Juice Plus company, we don't do any television advertising or radio advertising, and I think we might have sponsored something in the Olympics one time. I don't really recall, but our advertising dollars, as it were, are pumped back into the compensation of the partners like myself who are out there telling the story. And that's how we leverage. So yeah, there are certain technological things that we use. I mentioned the Boards app, which is a place to curate information that you want to reach out and grab later. I use an app called, and so does Mary, called Project Broadcast. It's a text and email blast system where if I want to send a similar email to a lot of people or a text to a lot of people, I can do that. I can include different attachments to that. And that really helps a lot. Social media is another area that we use a lot. I guess I'm a little old school. I know that we call our business is Face Look. It's not Facebook. People are going to buy from you because they know you and they trust you, not because you have a slick presentation on Facebook or other social media. Although it can help. It helps with brand recognition and that sort of thing. So yeah, that's pretty much it. It's pretty simple, Paul. We rely a lot on what we call GOOTH. It's an acronym, GOOTH. Get out of the house. Get out there and talk to people. So hence my involvement in some of these business networking groups and other things that I'm involved in, charitable organizations that I attend, and I do it not strictly from a standpoint of self-interest all the time, but inevitably the question comes up, what do you do for a living? And I have that opportunity to tell them because I'm out there. And so as much as you do, I've never seen anybody put themselves out there as much as you do. So, it works.
It does. It does work. And yeah, so you talk about, did you say Project Broadcast? Is that what that product was called?
Yeah, Project Broadcast.
Okay. So people might want to note that. Is that what, like, I receive text specifically from Mary, is that what she's using to send
Yes,
those?
and it's a number that you probably
Okay.
don't recognize. Like if you get something from me, if you text me on my phone, it's not the same number. It's my project broadcast number, but it allows me to what do they call them? Dynamic fields. So in the text, I can personalize and put your first name in there. Hey, Paul,
Oh,
have you heard about this?
yeah.
And instead of just a very generic email, so that goes a long way, and and you can set up campaigns. So I might say, we actually have one for customers that you come on board as a customer. So over the course of 4 months, which is your initial subscription, you'll probably get 7 emails from me or 7 texts from me at certain times asking certain questions or trying to get you, you know, uh, the biggest thing is that uh, people want to know that you care about them and that you're engaged with them. And
Hmm.
that's a good way to do that, and without having to physically text 900 people every month. So so we can set up campaigns, we can do all kinds of things with Project Broadcast, and it's really a lot of help.
So, in regards to that, Steve, I'm thinking too. Now, you joined in with Mary somewhere around what? Would you say 2024, or
It
when did you
was
join her?
it was early. Was it early this year or early late last year? I guess late last year, I believe. And it started out. Yeah, and I was very happy in my retirement stage of life, and
Yeah.
so she was involved with a networking group here in was meeting in Hollister at the time, but they had a chapter in Nixa that she wanted to go to. So she said, "Hey, I'm going to Nixa today. Would you mind subbing for me at Hollister?" Sure. I didn't have anything to do, so I went there. And then the next week it was the same thing, and then after that she's like, "Well, I'm going to Hollister, or I'm going to go to Nixa. I really like this chapter. I'm going to go there on a permanent basis. Why don't you just handle the Hollister group for me on a permanent basis?" And I was like, "Oh, okay, I guess I can do that." Well, the next thing I knew, I was the treasurer, and now I guess I'm the the
Captain.
lead, the captain, for lack of a better term. Yeah, and that has drugged me into about 2 or 3 other networking groups of that, and I don't mean that in a derogatory fashion. It's great, and I enjoy it very much. What I really like is the people. It's a lot of fun to talk to them, and so yeah, I cover 5, 6, 6 different groups, I think, in the Branson area, and Mary does Springfield. So yeah, and we're starting to get it takes a while. Like I said, people are not going to buy from you overnight. They're gonna what is this juice thing you're talking about? And they want to know a little bit about it, and they think about it, and then they realize that you're going to stick around and that it's for real, and then they try it, and then they like it, and then they tell somebody else. And so what we're really, from a leverage standpoint, to kind of come full circle on your initial question about, I can only reach so many people as customers. What we really, really are looking for is the person that wants to looks at this and goes, "Man, this is a neat product. I know 10 people that need this." Okay. And those are the ones we're looking for. Because we say to them, "Okay, for $52, that's your entry fee. You become a distributor just like me, and we will walk alongside you and help you develop your own business." Okay. The reason that's is because I get paid an override on what they do, which is the beauty of this business model. And as they develop people, they'll get paid an override on we call it a downline, what they do. Not in perpetuity, only up to a point. But so that's where the leverage comes in. Like I said, I can only talk to so many people, but if I get 3 other people to do what I'm doing now, it becomes multiples. It's exponential. And so that's where we are trying to expand our sweet spot. Quite honestly, I would say I'm a bit of an anomaly because of my sex and my age in this business. Your average Juice Plus rep is a woman, usually between 25 and 45 years old, who has kids at home, and let's face it, economic circumstances today, you're almost required to be a two-income family, but they don't want to do that. They'd rather stay at home with the kiddos. Well, this gives them the opportunity. I mean, we can show the average homemaker woman that wants to stay home how they can easily make $500 to $1,000 a month with some pretty not very much activity, and supplement the family income, and yet stay at home and have that quality time with their family. And if they really want to, they want to go to the moon like my wife did, then I mean, now you get to say yes to a whole lot of things. Time equals money. Okay.
Hmm.
And
Yep.
the more money you got, the more time you got to do the things that you want to do and the choices you get to make. So that's the beauty of this business and what I love about it. And so our goal is to attract some people into this that want to do what we're doing. You know, that maybe they want to make 500 a month. Great. That's cool. They want to make $5,000 a month. You can do that, but you're going to have to put some work in. We don't. It's not great. It's not get rich quick. We call it get rich slow. And there are a lot of people that are making a lot of money. But I will be very honest and tell you, it's going to cost some effort, and um, it's require the temporary suspension of your self-esteem. To be very honest, people are going to look at you and go, "Oh, you're doing that kind of thing," you know. And okay, but as I tell Mary, we laugh all the way to the bank now. So I don't care what you think of me.
I agree. I agree. Yeah,
Yeah.
repetitive income, recurring income, whatever you want to call it,
Yep.
because
Yep.
it's like you said earlier in our show, the fulfillment is done by Juice Plus, and it's
That is
similar to
correct.
my virtual assistant business that Sphere Rocket does fulfillment for me.
Sure.
So it's not totally hands off, but very similar to what you guys are doing,
It
and that
has to
part of it.
be.
Yeah, it has to be. A couple questions came up while you were reviewing these things. Out of curiosity, is it a privately held company?
No, no. There are.
Publicly traded?
No, it's not publicly traded. It is owned by an investment group. There's half of it. I can't. I don't know the exact percentages. I want to say 50%, 51% is privately owned, and I think there's a not venture capital. That's not the right word. My son works for one of these companies, but they have some investors that have bought in, infused some capital into the company, primarily for overseas expansion. The Juice Plus company is now in 30 countries worldwide,
Oh,
and that required some capital, so they brought in some outside investors. But yeah, no, we're not on the stock exchange now,
gotcha.
which is
Gotcha.
good. We remain nimble and can make uh, choices based on not the whims of the stockholders, or we can go out and do what we need to do, and the company's demonstrated that.
And I agree with you. I think in this, especially in this particular industry, autonomy is huge
Oh, absolutely.
because
Yeah.
there's pressure if you reduce costs by cheapening the product, which is what a lot of things that have happened in
Yeah.
the other
Hmm.
vendors in this marketplace. Because what's the size of the what do you call it, the nutritional supplement market? Do you know what it is in the
Yeah,
U.S.?
it's huge. It's in the billions, literally.
In the billions?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking
It's
too.
absolutely enormous. And there are,
Yeah.
it's not very well regulated. There are, I can't say the names, but there are many, Juice Plus pretty much was the first one. And if you're paying any attention to TV there's all types of different products that have come onto the market that are in the genre of whole food nutrition, but almost none of them have the breadth of research, if any research that we have, and a lot of them don't have the quality control. One of the things that the Juice Plus company has done is partnered with an organization called the National Sanitation Foundation. It's kind of a weird name, really, but if you've ever picked up an extension cord or some electrical product, and you've seen a UL sticker on it, Underwriters Laboratories, okay, that thing's been
Yep.
checked out by those people. Well, that's what NSF does for consumable nutraceutical products. So once you get an NSF certificate, it's very difficult to get because they test it and nothing can be in your product except what you say is in there and what's on the label. And so, which is really good because uh, elite athletes, like Olympic athletes, have to be super careful about banned substances. And so some of these products,
Yeah.
you have no idea what they put in them. Well, our product having the NSF certification, elite athletes take it. As a matter of fact, the United States Olympic Training Center in Charlotte, North Carolina, we are the official official supplement of the U.S. Olympic team that trains there. That's one of the reasons that not only the product's efficacious from a recovery and nutritional standpoint, but they don't have to worry about that. There's going to be something that they're going to get tested for later that's going to knock them out of competition.
Right. Right.
So,
That's good.
so
That's good.
yeah. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Awesome. Okay. Well, that's fantastic. So, just to wrap up, what do you think would be the best way for our watchers or listeners to reach out to you if they have more questions or are interested in either the business model or the product itself? What's the best way to get a hold of you?
Sure. Yeah. So my website is www.steve5.juiceplus.com. That's my website. And you
Steve
can learn
five, the number five, or
the number
spell
five,
it out.
Steve five
Number
Juice
five.
Plus.
Okay.
Mhm. Yeah. Or you can catch me on Facebook. You can catch me. You can email me at Steve at the Shears5.com. That's Steve at TheScheers isn't Sam, number five, the number.com. So any of those places, I'd love to hear from you and I can tell you more about Juice Plus, the product or the business opportunity. Love to do it.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, we'll wrap up with that. Steve, thanks again for being, on the show here. And like always, we try and bring benefit and added value to those that watch and listen. And so we'll look forward to seeing you soon.
Thank you, Paul. I really appreciate it. Thanks to everyone watching.